Alright, in today's lecture, we're going to be going over the importance of creating thumbnails when you're doing your drawings. Now, what is a thumbnail? Well, a thumbnail is basically just a very simple, almost crude sketch, and generally you want them to be pretty small. The point of a thumbnail is to figure out your shapes, your values, and your composition. So let's go over a few examples of when you might want to use a thumbnail. So let's say that you're doing a character design. Well, before you get started with that character design, you should really start doing thumbnails of what you want that character to look like, starting with the pose and the shape of the body. So if we were doing a character with a square head, we would start off by doing thumbnails of characters with square heads, and we could try out different sized bodies, different poses for what it is that we're trying to create. We can try another one right here. So maybe the head will be a little bit bigger and the body will be really small and have really long legs, and then have arms like so. And then we could even try one with a small head like so, and then maybe a big round body, and then maybe some fat legs like so, and then some feet. And then we could have some arms coming off like so. And then we could try even one more. So let's say that we just wanted an average size head with an average size body, maybe a little bit longer and narrower. And then we could go ahead and add in some legs for that character. Then we can go ahead and create some hands and arms for that character. And so now these are considered thumbnails. They're very simple, crude sketches. Once you decide which pose or shape you want to use, then you can take that and further detail it. So let's say that we want to take this character right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly re-sketch that. Then I'll add in those arms. And now on top of this, I can start adding details. So let's say that we want this to be a girl, so we're going to add in some eyelashes for the eyes, and then we can start thumbnailing ideas for the hair. So maybe she could have a big afro, and she could have ears. And we could just go ahead and detail this out. And then we can also do a bunch of thumbnails of her hairstyle, because maybe we don't want this hairstyle, or maybe we want to try some different things. And so we can draw a bunch of thumbnails of hairstyles. So we can just redraw her head, and we don't even have to draw her face. We can just do her basic shape of her head, and then try different hairstyles. So we could try another one that's really cool and squiggly like so. And then maybe we could try one more over here. And this one might be more of long wavy hair, so it might hang down like this. But that's the point of a thumbnail, is so you can start really sketching out ideas really quickly and not worry about them looking really good. You're just trying to get some ideas. And then once you get your idea down, then you're going to take this and go ahead and refine that even further and run with it until you create your final piece of artwork. Now, what if you wanted to use this to decide what your values are going to be? Well, if we have our character right here, we can just quickly sketch out how our values are going to work on our character. So if I just finish drawing this character real quick, well, now I can go ahead and add some value in there. So when it comes to doing my drawing, my final one, I already know what values I want. So let's say that we want her hair to be darker. And then let's say that we want her skin to be dark too, but we still want it to be pretty light. That way it's contrasting with her hair. And then let's go ahead and add in her shirt. So her shirt is probably going to be either a lighter or a darker color, or we could do both. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some dark sleeves on this character, but leave the main body of her shirt white. And then we can come down to her pants, where we can make those darker, because we're trying to create contrast between each part of her body. And so now we already know how the contrast and the values are going to work on our character. So when we go to draw the actual final drawing of this character, we already know how we want her to look. Now, how do you lay out compositions? Well, you basically just need to sketch out really quick rectangular boxes, or whatever the size of your drawing is going to be, and then you can just do quick drawings or sketches of where you want things to be placed. So let's say we're creating thumbnails for a landscape. So we could go ahead and create our horizon line, and then we can go ahead and add a mountain right here in the foreground, and then we can add a mountain back here in the background, and then we could add a tree right here, And now we have a very simple composition drawing. And if we don't like that, we can change things up by creating a second composition drawing, like so. And this time we can actually move the horizon line up higher, and that could be our only change or only difference. So it's going to be the same thing, it's just everything is going to be moved up higher. So the tree will be right here, and it's also going to be cut it off because of where our horizon line is. We can go ahead and add in those background mountains. And then you can try other things where you completely change your composition by, let's say we put our horizon line back down here at the bottom, but let's say we want this mountain to be on the other side. So we'll go ahead and add that mountain in there. Then let's say that we want this tree behind the mountain, even though that doesn't make any sense unless that's one giant tree, but that's all right. And then let's say right here we want to add a character. And so the reason why you want to do this is because you want to try to create as many ideas for your artwork as possible. Now, I know this can be really time consuming, but trust me, the more thumbnails you create, the better ideas you're going to have, and then you're going to be able to use ideas from one thumbnail and add them to a second thumbnail, and you'll be able to build on top of that until you have a final product that looks really good. So I highly recommend that you use thumbnails when you're creating your drawings. So your assignment for this lecture is to pick an idea that you want to draw, whether it's a character, an animal, an environment drawing, or a landscape drawing, and I want you to go ahead and create 100 different thumbnails for that. Now these thumbnails can take as little as 10 seconds to create, maybe even 5 seconds for you. Or you can spend a little bit more time on them, but I really recommend that you try to do them in about 10 seconds each, so you're not spending a whole bunch of time doing this. The point of thumbnails is not to create a masterpiece, it's to really lay out those ideas and try different things until you get something that works. Now, every professional artist out there uses thumbnails. I guarantee it. If you ask any of them, they'll all say that they go through hundreds of thumbnails for each project. I know I do. So definitely do this assignment, and also definitely do this before you create any of your artwork. Try to do at least 20 different thumbnails for each piece of artwork that you're going to create. Thanks for watching this lecture, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one.